Um, I don't even know what to say because I haven't posted a YouTube video in a really long time. And as you can tell, a lot has changed. At least, well, yeah, everything has changed. Um, so I came on here to, I don't know, talk about my feelings, rant a little, process things as I go along because, yeah, I feel like I deny all my feelings until they like bubble up to the surface and then it just becomes like a raging fire when it can just be what it is and I can just process it when it happens and not like months or years later because that's really not good for your self esteem or growth and all that good stuff. You want to get better, not worse. So okay. So I I had this amazing opportunity to go to Coachella last weekend and I made the mistake of not booking a stay when I bought the tickets. And of course, I remembered and or thought I should book a stay 2 weeks prior to leaving. I couldn't find anything, not even a cheap motel by the area. Everything was booked. Um, so I was like, oh shit. But I still wanted to go. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go and see what happens. And yeah. And oh, and then, yeah, the day comes. I have to leave. I'm currently living in Peru. I leave like Lima airport on the 14th, and then I pick up my tickets, my boarding pass and whatnot, because I don't know, I booked it with I don't know, credit card company, so I don't know, unnecessary details. Then I realized I was supposed to like my last flight there to get there was on the 16th. So that means I would have missed the whole day of Coachella and I would have missed seeing Harry Styles, who I was like most excited to see. And so I was like, fuck, I can't let that happen. Um, so I tried to beg at the counter, like, what can they do? Can they change the ticket? And they're like, the best you can do is like, once you get to your next stop, ask for standby and see if you can get onto an earlier flight. Lo and behold, I did, and I got through standby twice. The universe was really on my side. Always trust and believe that that's what's happening. And, I got to Palm Springs at around like 3 something. Um, so yeah, I was relieved. Oh, about like, actually getting to Coachella the day it starts on the 15th. So because I was like relieved and happy about that and whatnot, and I was already I had already gone through like a whirlwind of like emotions and like what the fuck do I do? I will like try to see if I could still book like a last minute hostel. And then I saw that this hostel was like 16 minutes away from the airport, right? But I didn't think to consider how long would it be from the hostel to Coachella because that's where I would be spending the majority of my weekend when I wasn't at the hostel. And that ended up being like 40 minutes away. Um, but the day I got there, I didn't care. I was like, let me just get a taxi and get to the hostel and like get ready and like shower and like basic human necessities. But really, really is bullshit because I haven't washed my hair in days and somehow it still looks good. I've been told I still internally feel like shit. But it's very rock star apparently. Um, and probably even shouldn't have said that. You guys probably wouldn't have noticed. So that's the thing about that. Okay. And so yeah, but then I noticed to leave, I was like the hostel. I was like I need to book like a car or something because we're like in the middle of a fucking desert. I don't like there doesn't seem to be any public transportation. But the issue with that is I didn't fucking ask. Um, and yeah, I booked an Uber, and that was like more like $50. Even the taxi on the way from the airport to the hostel was like $50, and I got a taxi instead of Uber because Uber was at like $100. So it was like insane prices because of Coachella and people trying to take advantage of people, of everyone. Um, so yeah, but I was just relieved to get to the festival without having all my shit and being able to just enjoy the day and enjoy the music. But again, for whatever reason, I didn't fully 100% feel like myself, and I didn't feel like really putting myself out there socializing that much for whatever reason, because I was reverting back to my old self who would keep to themselves and not feel like they were worth any attention and or um yeah, that just you know should just yeah, yeah, just why would anyone want to listen to you talk to you or have shared interests with you? Like I did end up striking a few like small talk, but like it, again, if it doesn't click, it doesn't click. But like, I could have made more of an effort. But it doesn't. It's not about making effort. It's about reciprocation, I guess. And I don't know. I didn't really find anyone that day to reciprocate with. Although later in the day, I did befriend someone, and yeah, we talked, we chatted, which was nice. Um, I know I just like want to omit details and like and shit, instead of fully explaining the truth. Or not the truth, but I mean, a lot went down, right? So, like, I was processing a lot per the minute, per the second. Um, and yeah, but yeah, I really hit it off with this guy, well, we had a good conversation and like we drank a bit, and then towards the end of the night, he was like, "Oh, well, do you have a place to stay?" And I did, so that wasn't an issue. But then he like wanted to like go out of his way to be like, "Oh, let's see if you can get on the shuttle bus," even though you had to get like a ticket in advance. But then for whatever reason, I kind of just walked away. I was like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'll just figure it out." And I still had his number, so he's like, "Oh, let me know. Give me a call if you want to meet up later or whatever." Um, and I didn't for whatever reason. Oh yeah, I guess it's because um I did end up missing most of Harry's set because I thought I was gonna. Cause that's another faux pas or mistake I made prior to coming to Coachella is I ended up accidentally booking tickets twice, but second week I got VIP, which was exponentially would have been exponentially better or not. Would it? No, I still would have gotten down on myself somehow. Been like, "Oh, you're not worthy to be VIP." And even there was like like a tier on top of VIP, like that was like artist guest pass or VIP, which obviously I didn't have. But so either way, I would have fucked myself over somehow. Um, so yeah, and then that obviously led me to just like get out of Coachella and look for a taxi when I could have, you know, found other solutions like befriend someone at a campsite. But then again, I would have felt that that was really contrived, even though literally it would have made my life so much easier if someone would have just said yes, if I would have asked, but I didn't even ask. So again, I self sabotaged myself in that situation because literally to get back to Coachella the next morning It's the same fucking shit, the same fucking hassle. Like, traffic is bad. The Uber prices are ridiculous. You know, triple digits, like no less than 100. Um, and I didn't. I presumed that there was no cheaper way of transportation from like where I was at. So I was like, I have no choice. There is no choice, but there's always a choice. Um, you just have to be willing to seek it out and look for it, which I didn't because I was in the mindset of I'm fucked. This is fucked. I want to fucking get out of here and just get over this weekend as soon as possible. Like I was already like over it, even though it was my first night there. Although I did get to catch the majority or the beginning of Harry said that I'm like jumping. So like if you can catch my drift, really appreciate you. If you can't, I'm sorry. This is just how my brain works. Um, I will get better, or if I don't get better, it's part of my charm. What can I say? Um, so yeah, I guess I was bummed out because I missed the majority of Harry's set. But then again, and I could still see him from the stage and whatnot. But it's just because I befriended this person, and he like wanted to see another set, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like I don't mind leaving this set because I'll be here next week. But that's the thing, you can't take anything for granted. Like you just have to live in the moment. And I should have just been like, you know what? We'll just meet up later. I'll just catch the rest of Harry's set. The whole reason I fucking like tried to make it through my like connect flights on standby. Like I was just like contradicting myself and like putting other people's needs before my own. Like, hello? That's the whole reason you went to Coachella. And the only, well, not one of the only reasons, but the main motivation to befriend someone was like to get a place to stay. But again, you have a place to stay, although it was not the best. But whatever, it had what you needed: a bed and a shower. So, and then I still ended up walking away from that person. So, just all around bullshit. Um, so that was day one. um, and even though he was really cool, but I don't know, I'm just not used to people actually. And now I'm going into my trauma. Like, easily reciprocating, like, mutual, like, I don't know. Like, he was just like, I don't know, like, he wanted to keep talking to me. And I was like, what? Like, my brain couldn't process that. I'm like, because I'm usually, like, chasing people when I, like, shouldn't be chasing people. Like, hello. Either you get along with someone or you don't. Or whatever. It's their issue if, you know, they walk away. Everyone has their shit to deal with. And I realize on this trip, I have all my old shit I need to deal with. And I need to trust my ability to get out of shit without immediately going to the first thing that pops into my head of like, you know, I can't do this on my own. Like, I just need to get out of here, so let me just find the easiest way out, which was Uber or car service, instead of like finding the bus stop, which I literally, uh, literally realized that there was a bus stop like right around my hostel, like right around the corner. It was $1, but apparently it would stop functioning at 11, and usually I would get out of the festival at 2 or 3, so it still wouldn't have worked, and I still would have had to pay the $100 back to my hostel, and my hostel itself was also $100. So that's why I was just like, oh shit, this is crazy money. What was I thinking? I'm on a traveler's budget. Like, I've been living in Peru for like a year. and here the dollar has more value. So I was just like, way I was just like putting myself down, like way and over my head, and being like, you really didn't think this through. You're so like naive or whatnot, or like uh, no one's gonna want to help you. Like, why? But then again, I didn't ask for any help, or any time anyone wanted to help me. I was like, no, I'm good, thanks. And I walked away deliberately, making it harder for myself instead of easier. Um, and yeah. um, so yeah. And then like and then I want to go into like day two. It's the same shit. Yeah, yeah. A lot of things happened where I was like, oh, I wanted. Yeah, after night one, after getting to my hostel at like 3, 5 in the morning, I was like, oh, I can't do this commute anymore. This commute sucks, and there's not enough time to rest and get back to the festival in like a matter of hours. So I literally tried to like check out, got all my shit with me, had a big ass book bag that like weighed like a good 5 pounds or some shit. And I just felt ridiculous. And like I had like back pain. Oh, so young for back pain. But yeah, that's what it was. I was like making myself feel shitty and like the martyr. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening to me, even though I did it to myself. Um, and I was like, oh, where's the post office? And there's a post office right around there. Again, someone at the hostel was like, oh yeah, but you could take the bus. Didn't fully register that, and I was like, no, 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 I can't go further out into the desert. I need to fucking get as close to Coachella as possible. So I was like, let me take another fucking Uber to the fucking post office, go to the post office, try to get my book bag shipped so I wouldn't have to deal with the physical burden of having to carry that shit around with me. Even though I had like cool outfit change and whatnot, like I wanted to like try out. But I was like, I'm not in the mood for fucking outfit change. Can't deal with the shit. But then that like the shipment in itself ended up being like $100, and then they're like, oh, we need a return address, but we won't be returning it to the return address. It'll be returning here to Palm Springs, and I'm like, fuck no, I'm not gonna lose my shit. Like, worst case scenario, it won't get shipped, be returned back to the desert. I'm never fucking coming to the desert again. So no, even though it's just shit, it's just well, it was nice things and things I like. So I wasn't willing to let that go, even if that meant carrying the physical burden of this shit to the festival. Because I was like, oh, they have lockers there. But then I didn't see if any of the lockers were available. So yeah. Um, and yeah, I'm hungry now as I'm thinking about yeah, and then I did get something to eat after post office because my Uber driver mentioned that there was a cool place that did prune shakes. So I did that. I had some food, and I think I hadn't had like a proper drink of like water or whatever since like the day before at the festival. Because again, I was in the mindset of like, you're fucking lost. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're done. You're dying. There's no way out of this. When literally there was a convenience store right around the corner. Could have gotten some motherfucking water. But no, I chose to fucking torture myself mentally for no fucking reason instead of asking for a solution for anyone that was willing to offer one. Because I was like, no, I'm all alone. I'm in this on my own. I gotta figure it out on my own. But I wasn't willing to figure it out on my own. I was just willing to sabotage myself and make it worse for myself mentally. Um, so yeah, and the taxi ended up taking forever to get there. But again, that shouldn't have been the issue. And it was really hot, but obviously it's the fucking desert. It's hot. And I was wearing this jacket, and I was like, this is badly chosen jacket. Well, because I had planned to go to New York eventually, so this would have been New York cool. But again, it's summer, and this jacket won't fucking do it. It has like fucking fur on the inside. I was like, what the fuck? Um, and yeah, the taxi ended up being cheaper. It was like $7. But again, all the taxis were booked because everyone was going to Coachella. So after I got my prune shake, it was really good. Wish I could have one now. Because guess what? I'm back in Peru, back in my place. But we're having issues with the water. The water isn't running. Definitely could go to the store right now, get a water bottle. Also, could bother my cousin to see if I can fill up my teapot at her place if her water's running. But I was like, oh no, this is a sign. I need to sit down and do this video. See, life is not perfect. It doesn't work out the way you want it to. It's not going to function properly at all times. The only thing, the best thing to do is find the best solution for you, and or in my case the cheapest solution, because I was really being hard on myself on how much I was spending, because I was like, this is not okay. I'm not financially stable. I've been lying to myself this whole time. Why haven't I just, cared more about my financial stability more? I was like bringing myself down on every possible angle, side, turn. Yeah, it was not fun. So yeah, I ended up hitchhiking because like this older guy and like his girlfriend. Well, yeah, he like made small talk with me at the diner. He was like, "Yeah, you're going to Coachella, right? Like the Uber prices are insane right now." I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to find a taxi, but no one's picking up." And he's like, and then after like that, like after we had that um, exchange, I was like, "Well, would you mind like dropping me off?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And yeah, and he was like really cool. Which reminds me, I did hitchhike the first day I got there, like straight after I got ready, still wearing the same shit. Well, no, I actually changed for the airport and like whatever. Anyways, not important, not relevant. Um, I did hitchhike from my hostel all the way there, which was like a crazy 40-minute ride. Like it wasn't, not, yeah, it was like not nothing crazy happened, but I'm just saying it was just like long drive. It was like whatever, small talk, whatnot. The dude was cool too. He was like uh from church or whatnot. I grew up in the church, and yeah, I can have those conversations with people, or try to, or at least passively nod along and be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't, again, have to be more comfortable with uh, differentiating between being okay with expressing my opinions. But, there's a time and a place. In that situation, it wasn't, unless I really felt called to, like, go off. But, I'm not one of those people to, like my way or no way, or like, because I have seen the other side. So anyways, losing track of what I was saying. So yeah, I did hitchhike the first day, but it was like I felt bad, even though he said he would, because it was really far out. Oh, and he didn't even leave me. He ended up not leaving me at the entrance, but I don't blame him, because we thought it was the entrance, but it was just like for special access, like for the crew members. And so I ended up meeting someone on that walk, and we ended up walking to our entrance, which was like a mile away, which wasn't bad because again I didn't have my shit, so I was like, cool, chill, we're getting into the vibes. Again, day one wasn't that much of a worry because I was just relieved to get there. Second day, I was harder on myself because I was like, there's no transportation, and the transportation is expensive because I didn't want to, I guess, hitchhike the second day because I was like, oh, I don't want to test my luck too much. No one's gonna want to give me a ride the second day, or who the fuck, I don't know. Where I didn't want to call the same guy to give me a ride, because he already invited me to church that Sunday. So I was like, not gonna happen. So see you later. See you never. Um, so weird. And yeah, and then what? Okay, so yeah, I was just walking around. Oh, but with my shit because I refused to let my shit go. Um, and yeah, the couple ended up leaving me closer to the entrance, so that was really nice of them. But yeah, it was a hassle to get there by car. I was like, I wonder how far it was from the bus stop. It wouldn't have been that bad. If I would have known that, if I would have known about the bus transportation, if I would have opened up my mind instead of being in my thoughts, being in my inner chaos, I would have, you know, been more chill about it. Would have left my stuff at the hostel, would have taken the bus for $1, would have been all chilly, would have been the festival fun times. Then I would have had to suck it up, pay the taxi or the Uber to get back. But at least it would have been one way instead of two ways. And I would have been like, well, it is what it is. Um, and yeah. Uh, oh, yeah, that reminds me. Night one, I. No, it was night two because I had my stuff with me. Night one, I didn't. Night two, um, oh yeah. Oh, fuck. Nothing is making sense to me. Time and timeline of events and people are really mushing in my head, even though it was like a few days ago. But that's why you gotta tell the stuff fresh off the mind. I was gonna say fresh off the boat. I haven't fully watched that series, but I heard it was good. Um, there was this chick, um, who I ended up meeting. Oh no, it was night one. Cause I didn't have my stuff with me. I'm like a horrible storyteller. It's because a lot happened clearly, and and everything is out of order in my mind mentally. Um, so yeah, night one happens. I'm like, no, I have to find a taxi by myself. Gonna do this, whatever. Fuck everyone. I'm independent bitch. Like, let's do this. And I find this girl who I thought was waiting for a taxi because she's waiting on the stoop. So I approach her and I ask her. She's like, no, I'm just like lost because like I'm at the campsite, but like my sister and her friends like we got like separated, so like I don't know how to get back to the campsite. And then we just had small talk, and like turns out she's like 18 or whatnot, so she's like my younger, but I'm still figuring my shit out, so I'm not any more mature. Well, no, in that instance, I was because again, I felt a responsibility to like, and obviously I knew where I was going because we got directions, or I got directions earlier about where to go. So yeah, we were just walking and talking, and in that instance, I felt like I had my I had to get my shit together, or I didn't feel like I had lost my shit. I was so yeah, it was really cool to talk and chat and whatnot. And then when we get to where the campsite was, or like the entrance for the campsite, I was like, oh yeah, cool, really nice meeting you. Left it at that instead of asking if I could have crashed with her and her friends at her campsite. Well, it sounded like there was a lot of people, right? So it's already me giving myself a reason why she would say no, and already telling myself no, and then so then I don't even go out of my way to ask. One of those situations. Or I was like, oh, she's already camping with a lot of people, so I doubt she would say yes to me, like, trying to, like, camp with them. But, like, in all honesty, I wouldn't have even wanted to fucking sleep inside of a tent. As long as I stayed on the campsite, stayed on Coachella grounds, I would have been fine. Because that would have been a less hassle for me to, like, have to go back to my hostel and then back to Coachella the next motherfucking morning. So the next motherfucking bullshit in the motherfucking desert heat and sun. But I didn't ask. And she was like, okay, thanks. Bye. And then, of course, and then, as I've been ranting to people, they're like, oh, but you could have been like, oh, well, does anyone else have space available? Or, like, again, I would have been like, I really don't need a specific place to stay. I would just stay outside, like, literally in the grass, because I've done it before for SNL, for Harry Styles. Stayed outside in November, cold in New York City. It was shitty, but hey, I got my motherfucking ticket. I got rewarded. So it would have been fine. It would have been better than having the hassle to take a car back to my shitty hostel. But yeah, again, told myself no, and that was that. That was that. You tell yourself you can't do something or that people won't reciprocate, and yeah, and that's all you really need to sabotage your chances of ever getting a yes or a yes in general. I'm getting tired because I'm like, I don't even have my bed. I'm back in my apartment, but I don't have my bed set up yet. But I did have my yoga mat, so I was like, let me sleep on that, like, the Japanese do, because apparently it's better for your back. But I do have my little, like, futon over there, which I should have laid down before filming this video. But again, trying to make things more difficult for myself when it doesn't need to be. Oh, this is a better angle because you can actually see the brick wall and it doesn't look like I'm in motherfucking prison in Mexico, which comes later in the story. No, it doesn't. Um, but yeah, after the festival, I'm like, I just need to get the fuck out of the desert, and I found that. And I found out about the bus stop. And I'm like, and I think I already booked my ticket back to Peru because I was like, I can't deal with this bullshit, or I was going to. So they're like, oh, you could, so I was, talking it out with my cousin. She's like, oh yeah, you could take a bus to LA, or you could take a bus to Mexico. I'm like, what the fuck would I want to go to Mexico? I just want to go home. Like, I need some fucking stability. Like, how the fuck am I gonna make it in Mexico? But then, of course, it's only after I made it out of the desert. Of course, I ended up booking a flight because I'm like, I'm just tired. I can't deal with the bus. Even though I didn't end up taking, ironically, I didn't end up taking the bus to the airport, which was, again, the same 40-minute ride, except it was for $1 instead of $100. Solution. Would have been so much easier if I would have come to that conclusion sooner. But you live and you learn, and you shouldn't let your mind take control of the matter. I'm thinking of the saying mind over matter, but in my case, my mind fucks me over. Fucks me over, right? Okay, let me not finish that. So yeah, I need to rewire my brain to be like, you don't have to do this to yourself. Because I grew up, ever since I was little, like, I used to be a feisty little girl who would speak her mind and, like, be sassy, be, all those negative words that they use to express people who actually express themselves in their mind and their feelings to negative connotations and whatnot. Um, but then at some point, because of other people's bullshit, because of other people's perceptions of me, I began to silence myself because I was like, again, path of least resistance, not wanting to put up, fight other people's bullshit when it was going to be to no avail whatsoever, whatso fucking ever. But again, I've realized that that's caused me more harm than good because I'm still with the motherfucking mindset of you can't do shit, so why are you gonna even try? Um, so yeah, so I ended up taking the bus back to the airport, back to yeah, and then that was a whole like. But again, I felt safer because I was like on a flight, like at an airport, like knowing where I was going or where I was headed towards. Even though it ended up being like six connect flights back to Lima, and of course, my last stop going to Peru. I was like, shit, did I make the right decision? I would have had fun in Mexico. Why the fuck didn't I go to Mexico? But I think I only had that realization because I knew I was going back to Peru, back to my safety net, back to my sense of stability because I knew I had a place to stay here. Um, People who who do care about me. I just again, uh, yeah. I again even with the people I care about, I always think I'm bothering them or annoying them, and that I'm like taking advantage them actually wanting to help me. So that's fun. Um. Okay. Uh. So yeah. Cause if I would have gone to Mexico, I probably would have had fun. That's the thing. I did try to book a motherfucking ticket to Mexico on my last Connect flight that was headed towards Peru. But of course, the universe was like, no, bitch. No, you're gonna freak out just the same in a week or so in Mexico and self sabotage yourself because the ticket didn't go through. It got sold out. So I was like, that was my chance. And I wasn't given that opportunity. But I was excited for a split second because I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Mexico, let's go. I've always wanted to go. I'm already here. I should just go. Um, and yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I could have rented out a place there for 2 months and just waited out until I had my flight from New York back to Cusco in July or June. Um, but again, didn't feel like you can't rely on anyone other than yourself. And I always make these faux pas, like fake scenarios in my head where it's just like, well, why would anyone try to help you? Or then I will catastrophize, like getting kicked out of my like an apartment in Mexico, and it's like, well, bitch, you would figure it out anyways. Or no, you would try to figure it out, and then if nothing goes through, you'd be like, see, I can't do shit for myself. Um, yeah, I'm moving my camera around a lot because I'm just like, so I skipped a lot. Well, I just mentioned day one, and well, yeah, just my feelings. It's just because I'm just trying to explain my feelings and my mindset. Because again, I was like so used to just not doing shit, not being who I really am, and really showing people and or the universe, myself, like letting myself just be who I am and e- embracing that, embracing life and looking at like the bright side, the positive side of living life for now and living my youth basically. Um, because I feel, or I didn't do that for a long time. But yeah, it's just like a lot of old feelings really bubbled up to the surface, and they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't be here, you shouldn't have. Why did you think this was a good idea? You shouldn't have come here in the first place if you didn't have your shit in order. But what shit has to be in order? Really, I mean, we're all just figuring it out as time goes by. Even if you apparently have a stable job and place, and it's just, I don't know, it was just excuses upon excuses about how to make myself feel shitty instead of being in the moment and enjoying being there and trying to make some genuine connections, which I felt like I couldn't make. I felt like again, I wasn't in a place that I was authentically like living myself or trying to get my shit together. I don't know, I was just being too hard on myself. Um, yeah, and now I'm back here. Uh, I still have my stuff. I have my food, but I still haven't cooked. So I'm gonna do that. Well, at some point. Yeah, because then I had this pathetic image of myself coming back here of like, oh, you're just gonna sit here for days till you find something to do, to work. It's like, again, how the fuck can you go from 0 to like 100 and like expect good results? Like, I just need to be kinder to myself and take it day by day and step by step and yeah, and not put like an exponential amount of pressure to succeed at things when you've literally, well, you have like, again, regret is such a bitch because why the fuck am I focusing on regret when I should be focusing on my current actions and responsibilities to myself? Because I really do just want to make myself better, and I have made myself better. Um, yeah, yeah, there are days, yeah, where I really go out of my way to be myself, and then, it's a roller coaster. But I just have to take it day by day. Um, and yeah, and well, the reason I'm mentioning this is, well, yeah, I just want a sense of stability, but hey, that stability can get taken away. So you just have to go with the punches, go with the rolls, and find your next best option. Instead of, yeah, yeah, I need to remember this. I feel like that's partly the reason I'm recording this, so that I remember this. Although I think I'll cringe trying to watch back this video. Um, yeah. I have a trip in July to Europe for the first time. So I really don't. I will not. Okay, let me not add negative self-talk to the future because we're only focusing on trusting myself and putting my best foot forward. I'm just going to say this. I have a trip in July to Europe for the first time. I'm just going to tell myself that trip succeeded You were self-reliant. You trusted yourself. You went forward every step of the way in a calmly logical manner. You are self-reliant. You will meet fun, cool, good, good. No, yeah, morals are subjective. Good people who you'll get along with, and you'll have an amazing time. You had an amazing time in Europe, and there were moments I had fun at Coachella. So, but again, all this negative self-talk, I'm like, this was a bad idea. I was like, oh, this is why people come here with friends. But the whole point was to make fucking friends. And you didn't fucking do that, you bitch. But again, my spirit guides, my angels, probably don't want me to engage in this negative self-talk, so I'm gonna stop. And again, be more positive to myself because I deserve it. Because I've allowed other people's opinions and or projections, preconceived notions about me weigh on me for far too long, to the point where I listen to those voices instead of my own, and really digging deep and really trusting my ability to get myself out of situations. So there you have it. Just a small little portion of what went down at Coachella and why I got overwhelmed and reverted back to my old self that felt like they couldn't do shit for themselves. Um, Even though obviously I can. It just all depends on the actions I take and how I take them. But, life is all about taking action. So I feel like that's partly what I'm doing here. Just letting this go here in this little video, which I can delete at some point in the future if I so choose. But I'm sure a lot of these Coachella videos are hot right now, so I'm sure a lot of people are ranting or binge watching these videos. So yeah, just know you can strive for anything you want to, do whatever you want to. But yeah, it wouldn't hurt to plan accordingly and see what route works best for you. Don't make the mistakes I did, or do, so you can learn from them and then not make them again. Because again, the whole reason I'm mentioning this and trying to process this is that so I don't make the same mistakes again on my next trip abroad. And that, yeah, I'm like, whoa. I stop myself in my tracks, allow myself to really assess the situation, and roll with the punches. Yeah, definitely gonna pack lighter, so my book bag is no longer a burden. Gonna find public transportation routes, which apparently are easier because trains and buses are readily available there. But again, I didn't think I would find a bus in the desert, and there it was the whole fucking time. How about that? Yeah, my angels or spirit guides were really shaking their heads at that. But hey, it's a lesson I needed to learn. They're like, bitch, the bus is right there. You just didn't look for it. Didn't ask. Didn't. Just gave up. Just gave up. Didn't that feel nice? And again, I shouldn't look as being back here as giving up, because it's a new beginning, really. I can choose to do things differently. And I am. And I will. And I did. Past tense. You did do things differently, and you're much more prouder of yourself than you were before, which is a good thing. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm really in my thoughts now. And this video is 50 minutes long, so I'm gonna go eat. And I'm gonna have a nice day, whatever that means. And yeah, I hope, I don't know, my hands like fell asleep. I hope anyone found this video informative or just found this rant existential crisis meltdown that I had entertaining. Yeah, it is what it is. It's life. It's life, baby. All right. Bye. Take care. Oh no.